guys, today I'll be talking about my 7 key takeaways from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because I post about personal finance, personal development, and how to live a more fulfilled life. The first and probably most important takeaway from this book is that you should be paying yourself 10% of your income up front before you pay any bills or manage any of your finances. The author goes on to explain that the reason for this is if you continuously pay your bills and manage all of your expenses and always look out for those things ahead of time, you'll never have the opportunity to progress financially in life. If you set aside 10% to either save or invest, you'll start to see a nest egg developing that could potentially put you out of your current financial situation. My number 2 takeaway from this book is it's vital to differentiate between needs and wants in our lives. Now, I understand I love the new item, the new purchase, but without the discipline to be able to recognize what's really necessary in our lives, we'll be a slave to our money and our income will escape of us very quickly. That won't put us in a position to be able to truly enjoy the life that we can have if we're more disciplined. My third takeaway from this book is that honing skills that are valuable to society can help you escape your current financial situation and put you in a position where you're practically guaranteed a safe and steady income. We live in a society nowadays that's willing to invest so much money, so much time into purchases that are material or even experiences, but won't invest in our minds. And the author argues that investing and pouring that money and knowledge into your mind will produce an incredible outcome in the long run. The fourth point that the author makes in this book is that your mastery of time and your mastery of money are tied together. Someone who is a slave to procrastination and who can't get things done on a consistent basis will never find the type of financial success that they're looking for in life. Now, I know that this has been talked about as being one of the most important things to master by millionaires nowadays, and I feel the principles from this book ring true. If you can't set aside a schedule or have the discipline to follow through on what you're looking to do, then you'll never find the financial success that follows that. My fifth takeaway from this book is that it is vital on who you listen to and follow advice from. Now, there's a common saying that says the people that you surround yourself with, you'll end up being just like them. The same thing is true for the people that you listen to and take advice from. The author argues that you need to make sure that you have done your research on the people that are giving you advice, make sure that they are doing what you want to be doing, and really seeking out those mentors. If you follow the advice of someone who's never experienced or gotten to the levels of success that you want to reach, there's no way you can potentially take that advice and apply it to do something that they've never done. My sixth takeaway from this book is that we need to be very careful not to succumb to lifestyle creep. Now, lifestyle creep means, let's say I'm making $50,000 and I were to get a $5,000 raise. Instead of raising my spending an additional $5,000 to a company that raise, maybe I take the additional $5,000 and invest it or use the money wisely. Oftentimes, people will adjust their costs of living proportionally to the income that they're making. And this is really interesting to see as people move up the corporate ladder, get promotions, start making more money. They always seem to be in the same financial spot they are at any income level. You might have the nurse who's making a solid income be living paycheck to paycheck, just like someone who might be, making minimum wage might be living paycheck to paycheck. It's all in the ability to take those raises, truly set aside the extra money, and use it to your advantage so you can get out of the financial situation you're in. The seventh and final piece of advice that I took away from this book is that if you're living in debt, the author explains a good ratio that you should live by. The author recommends that you use 70% of your income to live on. He recommends that you use 20% of your income to pay off your debts and the additional 10% to pay yourself up front, as we spoke of before. The reason this is important is if you're able to adjust your income and your spending down to 70% of what you're making. When the debt is paid off, you'll effectively be comfortable and able to live on the 70%. Therefore, that 30% is free to use for investments, savings, or whatever else you would like to use it for, assuming it's for a wise purpose. All in all, I think this book establishes a solid foundation for how we should be living our financial lives, what we can do to get ahead financially, and what we should really think about as we're making financial decisions. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you got to the end, please consider giving me a like or dropping a comment asking me any questions that you might have. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing, as I post every week about personal development, personal finance, and how to better your life.